In the previous lesson, we extended our bottom of curve all the way to the edge of asphalt. But if you look at our plan, we can see we have these very sharp corners around the curve edge. So it's going to be very difficult for any vehicle to navigate around there. So what we want to do is add a nice smooth curve. At the command line, type fillet and hit the spacebar. Now type R to specify a radius, and I'm going to specify a radius of 9. So enter 9 and hit the spacebar. Now I can start to fillet those lines. At the command line again, type fillet, type R to specify a radius, enter 9 and hit the spacebar. Now I have a nice curve added that side. Instead of typing fillet at the command line every time, I can right click and I have the option to use the previous command again. So I'm going to click on repeat fillet up here. I don't need to specify a radius of 9 again because that's already the default now, because that's what I previously used. So I can apply a radius here, right click again to use the repeat fillet command, and apply a radius here. Now I also want to add a curve over here, 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 and here. But this time I'm going to use a different radius. So I'll type fillet at the command line, type R, and specify a radius of 6. Now I have multiple radiuses to do, so I'm going to type M at the command line, M for multiple, and I can start filleting. I'm still in the command, and you simply fillet. So hit the spacebar to exit the command. Now I'm going to do a save of what I've done. And now my work is saved. You've probably figured out already that with the mouse button you can hold the center button and pan. You can pan everything and move it around holding the center button, or you can zoom in and out as you would any ordinary web page. So you can zoom right out, and you can't even see where your site is anymore. If you quickly want to zoom back in, you can type ZE, which is a command for zoom extents, and hit the spacebar. And that zoom extents will bring everything into view. So I'm going to click File at the top left corner and save, and that is my work saved. I want you to click on one of the green lines now, the curb lines, and with the line selected I want you to right click and click Properties. This opens the Properties dialog box. And now up here we can see that the entity we have selected is a polyline. I'm going to hit escape to deselect that line, and I'm going to click a line over here. Now this is also a polyline. So you can see that a polyline is a combination of lines and arcs. It can also be just a line, but it's sort of different to a plain line. If I click on this polyline and at the command line type X and explode that polyline, now it has exploded the polyline into lines and arcs. So if I click on this line that I've exploded, and at the Properties dialog box I can see that the entity is a line now. It's not a polyline anymore. So I'm going to click a polyline again, which this one is a polyline, can see it's a line, there's an arc, a line, and they're all joined together to make one polyline. And in the properties dialog box, under geometry, I can specify a global width, and I can change the width of that polyline to 1. But if I click a line, a simple line now, not a polyline, I do not have the option to apply a width to a line. So that's the difference between a line and a polyline. I'm going to click on this polyline again, go down under geometry, and change the global width back to 0. And I'll close the properties dialog box and save.